YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy T, and I'm back again with another mock draft, guys. And today's mock draft, guys, is going to be a single quarterback, no super flex, no tight end premium, two running backs, three flexes. The same typical setup that I have, guys. I think this is what everybody does. So after doing this type of draft setup for probably a few more times, I'm going to change it up. So, guys, if you have any recommendations, make sure you hit me up in the comment section and say, TD, let's do a super flex. TD, let's do a single quarterback tight end premium. Whatever you need, guys, I'm here for you. We're going to be doing mock draft every Sunday until the league start. So, guys, let me try to get my audio right on my headphones real quick. So just be patient with me while I set up everything. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, Jordan. Bluetooth for device. There we go. Okay, there we go. All right, let me share the screen. And guys, if anybody want to come up live, I post the link in the comment section so you can come up and talk about your team as you draft. You ain't got to be up here for long. You ain't got to show your face. Okay, let me take me off of here because we want to see the full screen here. Let's do that. Let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, that's fine right there. Okay. There we go. All right, let's see what the comic's saying. We got Julian in here. Appreciate you being in here, Julian. Let's go. We got Nifty. Yes, sir, Julian. Yes, sir. Appreciate you being here. We got Nifty. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Nifty. We got D-Lion in the building. Yes, sir, bro. What's popping with you? We got my homeboy Zach always in here. He's always the first guy on the mock drafts. I appreciate you, bro. So, guys, let's go again. Like I said, I'm going to post the link one more time. Just if you want to, it makes the content a little bit better just to get a different perspective. Yes, sir, Cretch. So, guys, if you want to come up, just come up when you can talk about your team. Like I said, usually my members got first dibs, but right now I got open spot. So if you want to come up here, you're welcome to come up here and talk about your team. The link is in the YouTube comment section. So, guys, with no further ado, let's begin. On you, soldier. Let's go. On you, soldier. Justin Jefferson. Yes, I like Justin Jefferson as the number one pick. I've been on zero RB when people was taking RBs the first four picks. That's a great pick. There's nothing I can say that says I'm in, but I don't see me. Don't think I made this one. Okay, bro. If you did, that's fine. I don't see D-Lion in there. Sorry about that. So Mad Cheese goes and get CMC with the number 2 pick. And Kretsch goes with Tyreek Hill. I think that's a great pick, Kretsch. McCaffrey could be a great, if he stays healthy, it's going to be, now it's full PPR. It's full PPR. Okay, no problem. It is full PPR. Yes, sir. CeeDee Lamb with the number 5 pick. I like that. Yes, sir. Guys, let me know if the chat is skipping or anything like that. Let me know everything is running smooth. It should be. SoCal Nerd, I see him. That boy switching it up. That's what I call cutting edge content. Quarterbacks are high value. I don't think it's a bad pick to take a quarterback in the first round. Now, I'm not doing it because I like a lot of other players. But if you could get the best quarterback in the game, it's a great first pick. Great job, SoCal. This is cutting edge content. This is cutting edge content. You don't have to take a quarterback first, but there's nothing wrong with doing it. Quarterbacks score 30 and 40 points. They don't score 20 points and 18 points anymore. They used to be the number 1 quarterback was scoring 21 points, and then the number 2 quarterback was scoring 19. Now you have the number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 quarterback scoring 33, 34, and then the 6th, 7th quarterback is scoring 25 and 24. So it's 7.8 point gap. So I don't think that's a bad pick. CHB in here. Guys, this is one of the best mock drafts. We got everybody live. This is what I'm talking about. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. D-Line says I'm in, but I don't see me. I don't think I made it. So it's all good, bro. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Okay, let's see. He said, I bet you TD gets the double running back. No. That's what I'm going to do right there. That's what I'm going to do right there for you. Puka Nacua at the 111. I wish Puka Nacua would have made it to me. I'd have went Amon-Ra St. Brown to Puka Nacua. Pat Mahomes with the number 1 overall pick. That's edgy. That's edgy. It depends on what are you going to do with it. Sometimes, guys, it depends on what you're going to do with that pick. B. John Robinson. I love this first round. Garrett Wilson is a little. I think he could have waited. I think you could have flipped him and maybe Gibbs or him and Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I don't think it's a bad pick. I don't think it's a bad pick. Craig says, I bet TD goes double running back at the turn. No, sir, bro. I got Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs. I squeezed. Mr. Grapefruit says, there's only one Josh Allen, I suppose. Yes, sir. Harambe says, D-Lion, pancakes. I believe it just depends on. I wouldn't have went Mahomes and Waddle. If I'd have went Mahomes, I'd have went Travis Kelce right there at the turn. That's just me. Zach with the double running backs. Zach's with the double running backs. B. John Robinson, Saquon Barkley, love it. I love these robust RB bills. See, everybody's going wide receiver now. Now, the best way to get the best tandems are probably robust RB because everybody's taking all the wide receivers. Usually, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Jamar Chase was going where B. John Robinson and Breach Hall and Puka Nacua is going. He got Chris Olave with the number with a second round pick. I think that I'm not taking Chris Olave, but I think that is his value. But I'm not taking Chris Olave. RG ain't playing. He went and got Marvin Harrison. Robbie says, Lion stack, TD. Yes, sir. CHB says, can't show my hand. Yes, I know, bro. I know. You can, with that Mahomes pick, sometimes going in and get your quarterback, all you doing then is stacking your team. And by stacking your team, you could get a nice little tandem by taking Mahomes first. That way you ain't got to worry about nobody sniping them in the third and fourth round. So, like I said, guys, it's 9 ways to skin a cat, especially with high-scoring quarterbacks. The league has changed. It's kind of like the NBA where you scoring so many points, the game is different. So now there's nothing wrong with taking a quarterback first because they're going to outscore everybody else on your team. So if a quarterback goes for 30 points, 40 points, that's not a bad pickup when you got the highest scoring guy on the whole in all of fantasy football. So you probably gonna win that week if your quarterback's the highest scoring quarterback. So there's nothing wrong with taking a quarterback in the first round. Me, I'm not doing it because I got certain guys that I like to target, and I think I can pick quarterbacks late. Nico Collins, I like Nico Collins with Chris McCaffrey. Nico Collins can be a top 5 wide receiver. Dude. Austin Eckler, I think that might have been an auto pick, but that's fine. Devon A-Chain in the second round with Nifty. That's very explosive. If anybody wants to come up, you're welcome to come up and talk about your team so far. Don't be scared. It's gonna be a time where you're gonna will love to come up. Laporta. First tight end off the board, Laporta. No sloppy seconds for RG. SoCal nerd, where is he going now? He was no sloppy seconds with the quarterback. Stephon Diggs. If he gets traded to the right team or they hyper target him all season long, Stephon Diggs could be a league winner this year because he's going to be going a lot later than he's been. He's been going at the first round and the beginning of the second round. This year, he's probably going to be going in the third and fourth round. I could see him getting traded or released. Who knows where he goes? Michael Pittman. I love that. I wanted Michael Pittman so bad. I love Michael Pittman this year. I think he's a top 5 capable wide receiver, him and Nico. Outside of the normal guys like Jefferson Hill, Jamar Chase, and CeeDee Lamb, and Puka Nacua, and Amara. I like Michael Pittman and Nico. Devontae Smith, that's a good pick in the third round. That's great value. Okay, it's on me right here. What shall I do? What shall I do? What should I do next? I went with Shaw Wright and Trey McBride. No, I didn't do it, Harambe. Harambe said you going Lamar. No, sir. Too many. It's still too much value out there for me. No, sir. I couldn't go Devontae Adams. I like Devontae Adams, especially with them saying that they're going to keep him. He's going to get hyper targeted, but I had to get Rachaad White. I thought that was great value right there. And I like Trey McBride as a top tight end. A lot of value out there. I knew where you were going. I say, right. Okay. He said, "Oh wow, McBride at the turn." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This will make my channel cutting edge. I'm not going with the typical tight end with no Mark Andrews. Julian says, I read that they were going to bring someone in Temple, so Rashad Rutler is going to be reduced. And I'm still okay with that. Because I know he's going to get this is full PPR. In full PPR, I think he's still going to get bell cow. Yes, CHB says I still got quality wide receivers. You do. DK in the 4th round. T. Higgins, I'm not that big on T. Higgins, but that don't mean that's not a great pick. Yeah, of course they're gonna bring in another running back for Rachaad White, but that doesn't hurt guys like his value, right? He's a pass catching guy, and he's still gonna get the goal line carry, just like Kyron Williams. They're gonna bring somebody in for Kyron Williams, but he's not gonna touch Kyron Williams' honey touches. Kyron Williams gonna get all the goal line touches. That's all I'm worried with Rachaad White. Now, if they take his goal line touches, then that's gonna hurt me. But if he still catches 5 or 6 passes a game and he gets goal line carries, and he only get about 13, 14, 15 carries, and he catch about 5 or 6 passes, I'm okay with that. If he get around 15 to 20 touches, I'm okay with that, getting him in the 3rd round at the turn. Look at the breakout from running backs right there. After Rachaad White went, there's James Cook and Aaron Jones and Derrick Henry. I think I'd rather have Rachaad White. Aaron Jones is a good running back, but he's volatile. I think Rachaad White can stay healthy the whole season, just especially from the fact that he's a PPR satellite back. He's not going to be getting 20 touches behind the line of scrimmage. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Right now, guys, everybody that's in the comment section, everybody that's watching the live, what team do you like right now? What team do you think is you can give me out some grades, or you can just say what team do you like. So what's your favorite team so far? Harambe says Evans stolen. Yeah, that's a good pick for Evans in the 5th round. Says Mike Evans better come to the Packers if he wants to win. He ain't going to no Packers. Aaron Hollis, I missed the notification, shaking my head. You good, bro? It's all good. Julian says 11-2. 11-2. He's like, I like 11-2 with Puka Nacua and AJ Brown. And he says 2, Christian McCaffrey, Nico, Neighbors. I think Neighbors just took a little bit early. There's no way I'm taking Neighbors before I'm taking Cooper Kupp. I can't do it. Now, it could be right. I'm not saying that's wrong. But right now, is all the information that I have right now, I'm still taking Cooper Kupp. Kazi says 3 and 4. 3 and 4. That's Cretch, Tyreek Hill, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk, Rice, and Pacheco. And also Jamar, he likes Nifty, Jamar Chase, A-Chain, Jalen Hurts, Tank Dale, Cooper Kupp. I do like that one. I actually, so far for what I'm reading, because I haven't looked at everything, but I like Chase, A-Chain, Hurts, Dale, and Cooper Kupp. I do think that's a really good team. Let's see here. Where am I going? That okay. This is a little early, but I'm gonna do it just to make sure. I took David Montgomery a little earlier than I wanted to, but I needed a squeeze. Now, if they draft another running back that I think is good, I wouldn't take David Montgomery right there. But right now, if they don't draft another running back or they get like a real late guy, I'm taking David Montgomery right there because I'm gonna play Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery at the same time, and Amon-Ra. So I'm gonna squeeze that high end offense. And some people will say, well, that's too many players from the same team. No, it ain't. Not if it's in a top 5 offense. Not if it's top 5. I got my homeboy, guys. He get ready to come up. This is the guy. I've been knowing him for about a year and a half now. One of my close friends, always showing support for the channel. He played in one of my leagues, and his son plays in one of my leagues too. Maybe 2. So guys, welcome my homeboy. Very intelligent when it comes to sports. He knows his stuff. SoCal, what's going on, bruh?
What's up, TD, my man? How are you?
What's up? I'm good, bruh. I appreciate you coming up.
Hey, man, I was just I was working. I saw the invite. I was like, cool, let me jump in a mock. I got home. Plugged in my other phone real quick because I don't have my laptop with me. I'm like, let me see how I can do this. Got the sleeper on one phone, got YouTube on the other to hop on the StreamYard. I'm like, anytime I can come on and talk football with you, man, it's a pleasure. So
yes, sir, man. Same here. Same back to you, bruh. So right now, give me what you think with your draft. I love the Josh Allen #1 because if he's the #1 quarterback, that might be the best pick in the first round because he's going to outscore everybody else in the first round.
So yeah, I'm not big on usually taking a quarterback early in a 1 QB. I usually am like, I'll let those big guns go. I'll build the rest of my team, and I'll find, like, say last year I had a few leagues I took Dak late, right? That worked out, obviously, in most cases. Doesn't always work out that way. But with the guys that went off the board, like, no disrespect, like, I'm not a big AJ Brown guy. I love Garrett Wilson, but I don't know what the Jets are going to look like. So just like you just said, like, give me that top scorer. And what I love about this time of year, man, is I want to see what my team looks like with the 6th pick, with going quarterback first. Let me do another one with the 6th pick, and let me take Garrett Wilson or something. Let me see how the draft shapes out. So with that, it's like, let me take the best quarterback who just dominates in the scoring column and then go from there. And I'm a 0 running back kind of guy, so that's why I went 3 wide receivers next. I think there's enough running back depth. The easy example is Kyron, right? Like, came out of nowhere. Like, I'll take Ramondre in the 5th. I'll take Pollard here later, or I'll take, Javonte, somebody like that, as opposed to going up and getting one of these guys around 2 or 3. Like, unless it's CMC, or Kyron right now, like, there aren't many running backs that I want to take early.
I agree. I'm actually this year, because I go in and out. So last year I wasn't touching Breach Hall with a 10-foot pole. This year I love Breach Hall. I will take him in the first round. I will take B. John in the first round. And I will take Jahmyr Gibbs at the end of the first round. Now, look, listen, Jahmyr Gibbs is on an explosive offense. He's very explosive, but he doesn't get enough workload to count on from week to week. But I do like him because he's on an explosive offense to give me that boom But other than that, I'm not touching any running backs in the first 2 rounds outside of those guys that you just mentioned.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Bijan, you can't. I'm not worried about Bijan one bit. I think if anybody wants to sleep on Bijan, and I'm towards the end of the first round, like I'm grabbing him. If we're talking dynasty, Brees is my number one. Like you saw what he did on that offense. He's only going to go up. Another year removed from that injury. And Gibbs, I mean, he was a beast from week 6 forward, right? I mean, they really utilized him even without the volume, like you talked about. He's just, I mean, you take him with the second pick in the second round, and A-Chain went only like 8 picks later. The value of Gibbs to me compared to A-Chain right now is massive, like way more than eight picks in the same round, because we don't know what A-Chain's going to be. Like we saw Gibbs get a full season. We haven't seen A-Chain get a full season. If you extrapolate what he did, yes, A-Chain could be a monster, but is he going to get that workload? Can he hold up with that workload? And having Montgomery in Detroit, I mean, the NFL is a 2 running back league. If you can be on a 2 running back system on a high-powered offense, like those are the guys you want. Like after those guys, we're looking at what? ETN, Rashad White. Like they had great years, but you look at the running game for those guys. If you take out the passing work and the touchdowns, those years aren't that good, and it's hard to replicate back-to-back years of getting 11, 12 touchdowns.
Correct. I agree 100% with that. It's all about value and ADP to me. I'm not stuck on any players. It's just all what kind of value can I get when I'm drafting them.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I mean, that's like, I had a last year in an auction league, Gibbs went for like $42. I got Montgomery for $12.
Right.
And Montgomery was pretty much a weekly starter week in and week out, right? And he did have a few boom weeks, but the value of that extra $30 to spend elsewhere, man, is huge, right? Like,
right.
What else?
And I'm usually a 0 RB guy, but with everybody migrating to the 0 RB guy, guess what? I might be a 0 wide receiver guy, and it's not because I trust running backs; they're going to stay healthy. But it's the value that I'm getting and the stacks that I'm being able to get at my ADP value, right? So while I'm not going to draft A.J. Brown over Gibbs, I'm not going to draft T. Higgins over Rashad White. So I'm going to take that running back value there and be able to get some late wide receivers and get other players. So I'm just not going to go 0 RB just because 0 RB is available. I'm going to take the best available player because everybody's taking the best wide receivers early now. I used to could get Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, and CeeDee Lamb, those guys at the end of the first round or beginning of the second round. You can't get those guys anymore, even Puka Nacua. So I went on with Jahmyr Gibbs and Rashad White.
And like you said, you got to be willing to adjust what you want to do, right? Like when I looked at it, like I said, I'm really not a QB first guy, but when I look at those first 5 guys that went and who my number one's going to be, like, yeah, give me the quarterback at that point, like it just, and I agree with you, taking the running backs there's nothing wrong with that. And the more right? I mean, the more you know what's going on in the draft, like you can get that Christian Kirk later, right? You can get, I got to make a pick right here. Why not? Jerry Jeudy, let's go. And then it's all about, for me, it's filling out that starting lineup, right? So I went Allen. So obviously, I'm going to get my receivers. I'm going to get my running backs, my tight end, depending on how that, plays out. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a mix of best player on the board, what I need, and the value. I mean, like the Montgomery and Gibbs. I mean, last year, Ridley went, 35, 40 spots higher than Christian Kirk. I sat back and took Christian Kirk. And I believe you're a Ridley guy. Are you a Kirk guy?
No, I'm a Kirk guy. I'm not a Ridley guy.
Mm-hmm. I took Kirk in a ton of leagues, bro, and he ended up being a wide receiver 3 pretty much every single week. But I took him with a bench pick in the draft, basically, right? I picked him after I took my starters. And if you can find a guy like that, if you can get a guy that you're going to start week in and week out after your starting lineup is filled, man, that's where the gold is right there, right? That's finding those players because the first 7 rounds, that starting roster, it is tough, right? Because you can make a case to all these teams about the upside of every player. But after that, who do you get? Who's your Christian Kirk, right? Who's your David Montgomery?
Right.
Who's your Trey McBride of last year, right? Like, who are those players, man? And that's where it comes in key. And then, of course, throughout the year, I mean, working that waiver wire, doing things like that.
Right. Also, don't forget the waiver wire. A lot of my guys that I get at the end of the draft, I don't care nothing about them. Man, I'm just taking a shot on them. I'm going to work the waiver wire. If I go heavy RB and I got my second wide receiver is Chris Godwin, then I'm going to be working the waiver wire for rookies that's going to break out week 1, 2, and 3 and stash them. That way that I can skip my ADP value and end up getting a top 12 guy like a Puka Nacua, like he was last year. So imagine if you went heavy RB and had Christian McCaffrey, maybe another top end running back, and your wide receivers was weak, but you end up getting Puka Nacua week 2.
Yeah, it's just like the Kyron move, right? I mean, anybody who got Kyron off of waivers, man, I mean, you were loving the rest of the season. I mean, it was a no-brainer after that.
Correct.
Come on.
Well, I got auto-picked right there, but that's all right.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. That's because you're talking. Let's pause. I'm about to pause the draft. Hold on right here. Okay. And I do that for anybody. If you 1 or 2 picks ahead, I stop the draft, especially if you come up and talking. Because we're trying to make content. So hold on, let me remove this player. Okay, you ready, SoCal?
Boom, there we go. Yeah, let's do it.
Wait a minute, it gave him again. Hold on, you got to take it off auto draft.
Oh, that's why. There we go. I turned it off.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. So pause. Okay.
There we go. Let me get my guy Wandale right there.
Right. What's going on with your CHB?
What up? What up? What up?
So tell me what you're thinking, man.
Honestly, I'm just doing a whole. There really is no strategy this time. I'm just going with the best player available right now.
Okay.
I mean, wasn't like wasn't a 0 RB or a 0 wide receiver or even whatever other strategies out there. I just said, you know what? Let's just see what happens. What I come up with. I mean, so far, I mean, may not be the best, but I like what I have.
Yeah, he's picking right now, so that's why he froze up.
But hey, just like he said, right? Like he's just what comes to me, right? What I have this idea, I have this theory, I have this plan. All right, now this is what's going on, and yeah, let me take the best available, see what this team looks like, right? And
right.
And I'm back.
Right.
I mean, wasn't really too in love with that, but I said, hey, you know what? You never know. He could do something. You never know.
Right.
Michael Thomas.
Right.
I mean, hoping Derek Carr maybe get it together this year because he got the weapons. So I don't see why he don't have no excuse not to put up numbers. But then again, unless you're Devontae Adams, you're not getting a lot of play with Derek Carr. So I said, hey, let's see what happens. But like I said, going with the best player available, kind of taking the Baltimore Ravens old school approach, especially with a pick I'm at because where I was at, that's kind of like a tough one. I know you said I probably should have stacked Kelsey with Mahomes, but I'm like, I mean, I just kind of go if he's older.
Right. And the only reason why I said that, if you're going to go and get cutting edge like that, because I think that's a good move, then why not go ahead and take advantage of that and get something with that player? That's why I like Masoka. He got Stephon Diggs. And I think that makes sense because if you believe in Josh Allen, you got to believe in one of his weapons.
Gotcha. Well, I mean,
Right.
well, the
That's
way
all
how
I'm saying. But go ahead.
right. No, go ahead. No, you go ahead. I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, but you don't have to take Travis Kelce. But if I got Mahomes, I say I'm taking Travis Kelce,
dude.
And even if he doesn't, hold on. Let me pause this. I got picked. I didn't know I was on the clock. Okay. Go ahead. You go ahead, CHB. You can talk about it. Let me make my pick real quick. And
You were saying, I mean,
right.
obviously, if Kelsey's there and it's a good pick, like for me taking Diggs there, I don't know how high I really am on Diggs, but if you're gonna drop, that quality, like, come on, man, his first half of the season, he was still legit. I know he fell off, but if he stays in Buffalo and I've got Allen as my quarterback and he's gonna be there in the third round, like, then I'm gonna take Diggs, but I'm not gonna go out of my way to be like, oh, I gotta get Diggs, or like for you, see, it's like, oh, I gotta get Kelsey, like.
Right.
I can't switch it up like that, right?
Right.
I mean, plus it's like, am I really going to take Kelsey over Jalen Waddle? Heck no.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was like, come on, man, he's right there. It's Jalen Waddle. I mean, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Jalen Waddle, I'm not taking him over Kelsey right now. I'm not taking Kelsey over him right now. I'm just saying.
Right. I respect that.
And then it's like, T. Higgins in the. I know you say you're not a fan of T. Higgins, but you saw when Chase is not out there, he can take over games. And them last few games, he probably won some people some championships right there. The last few games.
Right.
So I said, hey, he can boom anytime.
I love Joe Burrow. Right. I love Joe Burrow this year too. I think Joe Burrow gonna have a big year.
Right. And T. Higgins was doing work without Joe Burrow. That's the crazy part.
Right.
So I said, hey,
I'm big on T. Higgins, man. Give me. I know he doesn't always stay healthy, man, but T. Higgins is an alpha, man. He's just happens to be on the same team as Jamar Chase. But I'll take T. Higgins. I'll take my chances with that dude all day.
Right. And then of course, DK Metcalf, nothing needs to be said there. I mean, he's there. You gotta get him because you could take over games too as well. I mean, there's a lot of boom my team.
Right. I'm not a T. Higgins guy. And when I say I'm not a T. Higgins guy, because I wasn't a Christian McCaffrey guy last year or this year. So it doesn't mean they won't hit. But I just don't like the way they deploy him. And I can't, with his value.
Come on.
I don't know if he's going to hit in the third round. So if I'm going in the third round, I want a stud. And I don't think T. Higgins, he's kind of volatile. It seems like it's Jamar Chase or butts. It don't seem like they're gonna try to make sure that
Jamar
T.
Chase
Higgins they don't really, to me, I don't see the offense as we're gonna make sure T. Higgins get his 8 or 9 targets every single game.
Uh-oh. You still alive?
Yeah. What happened? It froze up?
Apparently, yeah. Like we all thought it was a circle. That's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, I get your point about T. Higgins. Like I said, they show him love, then they don't show him love most of the time. I mean, it's just like how you did with him and Tyler Boyd back then. If you're the second receiver on the Bengals, you'll get some love, but not the number one receiver hyper target love like Chase gets. But I would say, hey, T. Higgins was the best player available, so why not? And then, like I said, I still got some more explosive firepower. Like I said, we got DK Metcalf. He might even catch on now with their new offensive coordinator they got on the Seattle Seahawks. They might do some work with him. Since the coordinator,
a kicker and a defense.
Yeah.
Yes. But I didn't do any benches, so you don't have to take a kick in the defense, right?
Right.
I mean, if that was the case, I should take Justin Tucker in the first round if I knew that. Hey man, that man's the league winner, Justin Tucker.
Yes, sir.
He might put up 10 field goals on you. Then what? Listen, I had the Cowboys. Huh?
No, go ahead. What were you about to say?
I had the Cowboys kicker last year and the Browns kicker last year. They both put up 22 points back-to-back games.
Do you think T. Higgins is better than Zay Flowers in fantasy football?
You really want that answer?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess I'm on video. Yes.
Okay.
I say T. Higgins is better than Zay Flowers in fantasy football, and I said
Okay.
what I said there.
Okay.
I like Zay Flowers, but I think I'll take T. Higgins 10 times out of 10.
Right. I think Zay Flowers to me, he's not the same type of build, but I think he's better than T. Higgins.
I mean, did you
I
not?
think Zay Flowers is a boom guy. I like T. Higgins can make plays, but
Can
I
he?
just don't think he's Zay Flowers. I don't think he's on the Zay Flowers level.
Yeah, but teams now this year, this thing got tape on Zay Flowers. They're gonna be almost double teaming him now, pretty much because, I mean, yeah, they had Odell, but I mean, they had the shell of Odell. That's me. Did I want to pick? No, that ain't want to pick. Yep, I did. Oh well, just a kicker.
Do you want? Are you sure? Are you good?
No, I'm good. It's just a
Okay.
kicker. That's it. I'm good at this point. I'm good. I got my team the way I need it to be, except for the flex. But this is a mock draft. But either way, I mean, like I said, it's just I don't know. Like I said, I like Zay Flowers, but I know teams are really going to be heavily on him this year, like to really make him work for all his catches now. Because my thing is now, it's like if they don't resign Odell Beckham, who's the next receiver up in Baltimore?
Correct.
Hey, and even
Right.
with Odell, man, I mean, what, 35 catches for 550 or 560? I mean, he's not really doing much for you to help. I don't think to really help Zay, be open or to take away from what Zay is gonna, need to get space. Obviously, Mark Andrews is gonna be there. You hope that he's healthy, but I mean, T. Higgins, man, I got to side on the T. Higgins side too. He's been one of my guys from day one. I just think he is just a game changer, man. Like the build that he is, the red zone target that he is, what he can do. Like, I just think the consistency's there. The touchdown upside is there. Can Zay pass him up if he becomes, that guy in Baltimore? Yeah, but I think right now I got to lean T too, man. He's just been, if we're talking being out there, obviously if he's, getting hurt, that doesn't help, but still had 42 for 656 and 5 touchdowns in what seemed like a year he didn't even play.
Correct.
Yeah, man, Higgins is, we have those guys, like you said, like, even if you're not a McCaffrey guy or you are this guy, we all have our players that, we kind of want to kind of have that man crush, if you will. Like, and T's one of those guys for me, man. He's just a game changer. I mean, 100+ targets, 3 straight years before this year, back-to-back 1,000-yard season. He's a monster, man. And I think when you have guys like him and Chase, if T's out there week in and week out, a guy like Chase actually makes life on him easier. He may not be wide receiver 1, but they can both be in the top 24.
Exactly.
Right. I agree with that. But so to me, when I see Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith, I see those guys getting more explosive plays because of them being the second wide receiver. Where I don't see that necessarily with T. Higgins. But listen, T. Higgins is a good number 2 wide receiver. But when I'm looking at the board, I'm going to name some wide receivers that he was drafted before. Devontae Smith. I think a lot of people would say Devontae Smith. I would say Devontae Smith, but that's debatable. But then Michael Pittman, if he wouldn't have got hurt, he was a top 5 wide receiver last year. Let me see. You got Brandon Ayuk on a very, very explosive offense. Then you have also Rashee Rice, who he already had Pat Mahomes. I think Rashee Rice on this Kansas City offense, I would rather trust a number 2 wide receiver or, I wouldn't say a slot guy, but a number 2 wide receiver before I trust T. Higgins on a Jamar Chase type offense where I think it's predominantly Jamar Chase. Also, Tank Dell. Now, I think T. Higgins is better than Tank Dell. Devontae Adams, I think that's questionable too. But the rest of the wide receivers, I think he's good outside of Zay Flowers. Even Cooper Kupp. Do you think T. Higgins is better than Cooper Kupp?
Now, yes.
Okay.
Because now it's
I respect that.
Yeah, because it's pretty much Puka Nakua's team. Because I mean, the thing about Cooper Kupp, yeah, he had that one Triple Crown year. I'll give him that, and it's quick to crown him the best receiver. But the problem is now he's still very injury prone, and now he's coming back down to earth now. And the fact that now it's really showing that they're going to make sure Puka is the number 1 guy. Cooper Cup's touches are going to go down because they're going to try to save him for maybe a playoff. Like you said with Kelsey, they will try to save him because he can't take as much punishment like he used to anymore. Because he had him out flat all the time, and his body can't handle it no more.
Right, and you best. I agree. I agree with that. I think that's a great debate to say that because Cooper Kupp is very volatile with his injuries right now, and I do think this is a Puka Nacua team. And like I said, T. Higgins could have one of those number 2 wide receiver years that because you are dubbing Jamar Chase, he end up killing you. And I believe that he can do that. I just haven't seen it, and I don't want to trust it. But again, I'm not saying that's not going to happen. So, guys, before we get out of here, we just want to go through and grade the teams. Give them a real quick grade. So let's look at Soldier, the first team. What do y'all think? I grade hard, so I'll go first with this one. I like the Jefferson, Jacobs, and Eckler. I think that was an auto pick, but I'm not going to give him credit for that. Walker, really Najee, Jordan Love. I love that. I love Njoku. I'm going to give that team a C.
Yeah, let me see here. I mean, and when I came on, I mentioned taking Allen with that first pick, but look at not taking a quarterback and getting Jordan Love. What is that, round 7? Maybe to Josh Allen, there might be a little bit of a drop off, but for most quarterbacks, if I can get Jordan Love in the 7th round to be my starting quarterback, I like what my other 6 spots can be. That auto pick kind of got him there with Eckler. We don't know what Ridley is going to be. It looks like his receiving core is kind of outside of Jefferson. I'm not really sure what he's got going on there. Doesn't quite have the depth, but I think the auto pick I would probably say a C, maybe a C. Yeah, C plus.
Right. What about you, CHB?
I'm gonna be very sure with this one. Looking at it, I'd say a C. At minimum, maybe C plus, depending on the week. But yeah, C plus at the highest.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C. You got Ridley as your number 2 and Kadarius Toney as your 3 and 4 wide receivers. I think that makes this team weak, but I'm gonna give it a C. I wanted to say C minus, but I gave it a C because it has Justin Jefferson and Jordan Love and David Njoku. That's why I gave it a C. Moving on to Mad Cheese. You can start off with this one, SoCal.
I mean, you got CMC right off the bat, so you already know. I mean, you got a week winner right there every week. I mean, he went the route with getting Neighbors. Obviously, I mean, you got Neighbors, Collins, Samuel, Evans, Connor, McCaffrey, Stroud as your starting lineup week in and week out. I'd say that's pretty solid. I mean, I don't think it matters where Neighbors goes. He's the kind of guy I think we all believe can easily step into a top wide receiver role, right? We see rookie wide receivers, they can slot in and be an alpha, and he fits that mold. Doesn't really have a tight end probably to start the year, right? Hawkinson's probably not going to be ready to go. So I think once the season gets going, but he's got to fill that spot. But the rest of that team, man, is pretty good. I mean, if Stroud doesn't take a step back, Debo, health-wise in and out, but Nico, Neighbors, Evans, I got to give that team a solid B right there. B plus maybe, a B.
Right, I'm gonna give it a B minus. And I'm nitpicking because
B
I
as well.
grade hard. I grade hard, but Debo is a good pick, but he's volatile. So I don't want to try to give you a negative for that, but he's volatile. So, but I love the Nico and the CMC. That's a killer. Those are 2 killers. Mike Evans in the 5th round is really, really good. CJ Stroud at the 6th round is gas. I love Connor in the 7th. B Thomas, I'm gonna deduct you a little bit there. Maybe I could be wrong because we don't know what these rookie wide receivers are going to do. TJ Hawkinson, I'm gonna give you a negative right there because of he's starting off with a knee injury. So that I'm gonna give this team a B minus, and that's a very high grade for me. So that number 2 team has a very solid team. I like that team. What about you? Said you give it a B minus to CHB?
Yeah, I still give it a B minus. Yeah, I correct myself. Yeah, I said B, but it's gonna be B minus as well.
Okay, so going on to Kretsch, Kretsch team. Go ahead, CHB. What you think?
Looking at Kretsch's team, he took Tyreek Hill in the 1st round. I mean, I love that pick. I mean, you got DJ Moore. I mean, I don't know if I took him in the second round, basically because you don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation there. But I mean, it could work out because he's going to be the safety net for whether it's Justin Fields again or Caleb.
Correct.
Ayuk,
Correct.
explosive. I mean, you can't go wrong there. Rasheed Rice, I mean, you got him with Mahomes, so he's going to probably take a big leap too next year, especially he's going to be the guy.
Right.
Pacheco, nice stat there.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Andrews, I mean, nothing against Mark Andrews. Like I said, love him, but he could be injury prone still. It could be more of an
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Likely team shortly. I
Correct.
like McCollum. Like I said, we don't know who the quarterback's going to be since they already talking about Sam Howell's not it after one season. I mean, you got Tua. Love that Jalen Warden and Joe like that. Todd Chandler. Now that Alexander's gone, that's a good pickup right there. As long as they don't draft him the running back. Overall, I mean, with this team, I say A minus.
A minus. Go ahead. SoCal.
Man, I don't know if I can give a team that's got Tua, and I like Tua. Don't get me wrong. And I think
You got them two
getting to that
stacks.
late, but the
Right.
fantasy value of what he actually produces, I mean, he'll be red hot in the first half, put up 18 or 19, and end the game with 21. And maybe that's partially because they're ahead, but he'll end up throwing a pick or two. I mean, Tyreek and DJ are legit. Ayuk is a stud, but again, I mean, he had weeks where he was kind of up one week, kind
Mm-hmm.
of down the next week. And some of that's all the weapons they have. So I don't not like Ayuk, but to say week in, week out, he's going to be a top producer. Rasheed Rice, you got to think the year two breakout is there with what he did. Pacheco, Warren, Chandler. I don't know, man. If Pacheco can get more touchdowns, I think that's a good pick. But as my RB1 and then Jalen Warren, where you still got Najee, and
Mm-hmm.
Chandler, for me, obviously getting rid of Madison is nice, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
still in the boat that Chandler has good weeks when the matchup is favorable. And that's not a guy I want to be plugging in my lineup every single week. And then not having a quarterback that takes over and a tight end that, hey, he's a top 3 when out there, but can he be that guy? So a few question marks, wondering the upside on some guys week in, week out, but a couple studs there, no doubt. Like to me, that's a B minus team to me.
I'm gonna give it a C plus. I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Mm.
The strong points of it is Tyreek Hill. I love it, but DJ Moore, I still think that's. I would rather took Nico Collins than to took DJ Moore right now because of what you said, CHB. We don't know, so I'm grading it right now. Now that could be actually an excellent pick, but right now I think it's good. I think it's okay. I don't think it's excellent. Brandon Ayuk, I think for the number 3 wide receiver for a 0 RB bill, I think that's nice. I like Ayuk. And then Rice, I think his wide receivers as a bunch is good. So that's he had a good grade there. But then he went Pacheco. Pacheco is spotty. He's kind of like Ayuk a little bit, like SoCal was saying. So he's spotty. He could get hot in the playoffs. So if you can weather the storm, I think Pacheco is a good pick. Mark Andrews is very volatile. Terry McLaurin, we don't know what's going to happen on the Washington Commanders. Warren is a volatile running back. We don't have no clue what's going to happen there, other than he's just going to get a couple catches and then go get a couple carries. We don't know what's going to happen. Tua is a good quarterback, but he's just not the true alpha, but he's good. He's solid. He could have breakout weeks. And then you have Chandler. So, like I said, I think C plus is a good team. You can win a championship with a C plus team. I'm just grading hard. In order to get an A with me, you really have to kill it. So I'm giving this team a C plus. I think it's a good team. I think it could win a championship.
Like I
Go ahead.
Well, I real quick. I said an A minus because of the fact of I just looked at all the potential of it because I could see a lot of he could have some serious explosive weeks. I mean, I was actually going near maybe B plus or maybe B, but I started thinking about the fact that like I said, DA Moore is going to be used a lot, even though I wouldn't have took him second round, but because he's going to be the quarterback's best friend, that could be a lot of targets right there. He could be hyper targeted. But
True.
overall, it's like he got multiple stacks between Tyreek and Tua, Rice
Right.
and Pacheco. Like that to me is like that was pure genius. I'm surprised I didn't catch on to that earlier. So,
Right. Right. Again, like I said, we just graded hard. I think again a C plus could win a championship. Real quick,
agreed.
somebody asked in the chat before we move on to the next team. They said, what did they say? Okay, yeah, right here. SoCal. He says, where in SoCal is SoCal Nerd?
San Diego.
San Diego. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?
Yeah, that's right, baby. I used to play that game growing up, dude.
Come on now. Come on now.
Forgot about that.
And real quick, I just gonna click on some of the comments where people they talked about these teams. Julian like 11-2, Kazi like 3-4, Aaron Holloway like 4-11. Let's see, let's go down a little bit. Kazi said he's team 9, and Zach says I'm team 8. Yep, and Cretch says thank you. Yeah, anytime, Cretch. And listen, but I'm grading hard. I don't think nobody's taking anything personal. Because you can have a C+ team and win a championship, but we got to nitpick some type of way, especially before the rookie draft. We don't know what's going to happen with some of these guys. So, all right, let's go on to Nifty. I guess I'll start off with this one. Nifty, Jamar Chase. I love that you're getting him at the 1-4. I actually think Jamar Chase could be the number 2 overall pick or the 101. So I love that. Then you got A-Chain. He's volatile, but he can boom. So I understand why you went there, but that's a solid pick. Jalen Hurts as the 3rd quarterback off the board in the 3rd round. I like that. Tank Dell, I think that's a little early. I wouldn't have took Tank Dell before Rashid Rice or Cooper Kupp. That's just me. Like, that's just my opinion. I love Alvin Kamara in the 6. D-Hop, I think, is older. I wouldn't have drafted D-Hop. I think it's too many good other wide receivers that was on the board. But he will command a target share. You got the young rookie. I think he's the best rookie tight end. So I'm saying he could be top 12 as a rookie tight end. Jameson Williams going to have a breakout season, but I think he's still volatile. And I love Hyatt at the number 10. And you got a good defense. I'm going to give this a C+. I'm going to give it a C+. I could have gave it a B, but I think Tank Dale, to me, is why Nick picked it and took it from a B- to a C+. So I'm going to say it's a C+. Go ahead, CHB.
C-. After everything said, C- easily.
B- you said, right?
No, C as in color.
Oh, C-. Okay.
Yeah. Like I can't, everything said, I can't follow that.
What do you think, so Kyle?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, CHB.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Chase is great. Hurts, I mean, we know he's a fantasy stud because he gets that tush push, once a week, no matter what he's doing in the passing game. He seems to find his way to the top of the scoring chart, right? But Cooper Kupp, A-Chain, Kamara, Hopkins, Bowers, Williams. There's a lot questions there, whether it's like you said, the age of Hopkins. I mean, does Kamara's role decrease? Can Kupp stay healthy and decrease? Is Tank Dell going to bounce back and be, a stud? Is A-Chain going to be a week in, week out number 1 guy? Like, I don't know. A lot of that remains to be seen. So, this team could, any of these teams could turn into a good team. But with those question marks, and I'm a Wandale guy, not a Jalen Hyatt guy. I think he makes the leap in his 3rd year. I lean more to like a B-, C+, probably for this team with the grades I've been given.
Right. Okay. And I think that's, like I said, I think Nifty, you got a good team. We just nitpicking here. So good team.
If you want me to tell you, if you want me to tell you how this team can be the best team in the league, we could do that too, right?
Right. I agree 100% with that, because A-Chain, if he hits and he is that guy, you probably got the number 1 or number 2 running back in the league. And you got Jalen Hurts, who can be the number 1 quarterback. We saw that. And then Tank Dell comes out and he's healthy. And then Cooper Kupp is getting hyper targeted, and Kamara is catching 7 to 8 passes a game. People are in trouble with your team, bro. I give you that. But we just judging on this volatility of it. We don't want to give out a bunch of A's. We don't want to be A, B, A, B. So we're trying to grade a little bit hard. RG, starting with you, CHB, what do you think?
RG. Oh, my familiar foe, RG. Let's see. Okay, you got Lamb at the number 1. I can agree with that. Marvin Harrison, number 2. I don't know about that. I mean, he could be a beast, but it's just he's been taken that early. I could have waited for him. Laporta, I mean, he's shown he's going to get a lot of touches in Detroit, so I like that pick as number 3. Derrick Henry, I mean, depending on what team he goes to, that could be a game changer or it could be a bust. It all depends. Cooper, we already know Mark Cooper. He's ultimate boomer bust. I mean, but if Deshaun Watson can get it together, then he could be a top 7 receiver. Uh, Tony Pollard, I don't know where he's going to be at, so I don't know. Mostert and Prescott, I mean, Prescott, we got to see what he does, but Prescott can show put up numbers we need to. Mostert, age. That's all I gotta say. Age. And I mean, Deontay Johnson, PPR monster. But now, unfortunately, Arthur Smith is now the coordinator for the Steelers, so I don't know how that's going to work out right now. You know how he did with that Falcons. I don't know what he was thinking. Still, that Drake London in the multiple leagues, I was disgusted. But hey, and Chase Brown. I mean, Joe Mixon might be a cap casualty, so that might be a league winner right there. So overall, I mean, with this team, I'm just going to stick with because of the Marvin Harrison and Tony Pollard picks, like I'm not understanding where you were going with that, but I would just go a C to be generous.
Okay. And real quick, so we don't move on. Nifty says C- is crazy. CHB gave you a C-. I thought it was I think I gave you a C. What I give him, a C+?
No, I thought you said C-.
Did I say C-?
I thought we both agreed on that one. Maybe it might have been a different team, but I think you said C-.
I might have said C-, but I'm looking at it. No, I think I gave him a C. I think I gave him a C because he had Jalen Hurts and Cooper Kupp.
And I guess I'm Skip Bayless today. C-.
Hey, you welcome to come. If you want to come up, Nifty, you're welcome to come up. But no, like I said, no hard feelings. So we just keeping it all fair here.
No hard feelings, Nifty, but hey, I'll explain my reason. I'll explain my reason for C- again if I have to live. We can do it live, undisputed style. First take. What's up?
RG said, okay, so yeah, you gave him a C- or a C, right? What you do for RG?
C.
Okay. You want to go ahead, SoCal?
Yeah, I mean, so Lamb and Prescott, I think are a legit duo, man. Like Lamb can easily be the number 1 with the year he had. I think Dak has another good fantasy year. Maybe he's not as good as he was, but that Dallas offense should still be fine. They've got the O-line, they've got the weapons. They produce for fantasy purposes. Laporta's a beast. Henry, depending on where he goes, but obviously there's weeks where he's still had a solid season. I mean, and at the running back position, I'm okay with all reliable there. If Marvin Harrison is that guy, that's going to make this team that much better. But I think with the way we're talking, we do have to lean more on the side of we don't know there. So it's not a knock, but it's kind of you didn't fill that with a guy we know that's proven, even if it's a DJ Moore or a Nico Collins, like that. At least we've seen it. So
exactly,
that kind of brings it down. But Amari Cooper did show a little more consistency last year. I mean, Dallas should have never got rid of him, man. They would be a different team having him on the other side.
Amen.
And I like Tony Pollard, man. It just depends on where he goes. I think he just a little bit of bad luck. I mean, a lot of red zone touches inside the 5 where he did not get in the end zone, but was a pretty efficient runner the second half of the season. I think it just depends on if he becomes the guy that still gets all that usage on a good team, or does he go to just for sake of saying like a Carolina team and go to die, right? Like I want nothing to do with Tony Pollard if he goes to a bad team, right? He's got to find a good offense. Mostert, you got to think can only go down. I mean, I know that offense is really good, but you would expect A-Chain to carry a little more of the load. But down that low, nothing wrong with that. And Chase Brown does have the upside. Deontay, I've always been a Deontay guy, but I mean, if they're going to keep sticking with Pickett and he doesn't take a step up, that offense is just tough to gauge. Deontay could still be moved, right? That's been kind of an interesting topic that's not been talked about. So he may find that could be good or bad. I like this team overall, though, man. I mean, some question marks. I think I'd have to give it a solid C+.
So let me see. I'm thinking. I love the Lamb and Dak Prescott. I think that's an elite stack. That's the elite stack. I don't have nothing bad to say about that Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. The Marvin Harrison, man, if you'd have went Nico there, I think your grade could have been maybe in the B because you got the best tight end. So we got to grade him as the best tight end because he was the number 2 tight end in fantasy. Maybe number 1. What was he, SoCal? Was he number 1? Laporta?
I think in some, Kelsey still might have finished number 1, but I mean, it was close.
Yeah. So you got the best tight end. Then you got a bell cow goal line guy. No matter where he go, we got to give him credit of him getting 10 rushing touchdowns. When do you imagine Derrick Henry going somewhere and not getting 10 rushing touchdowns? 10 rushing touchdowns automatically makes you a top 24 running back. 2 or 3 more can bring you into a top 12 guy. So I like the Derrick Henry. I love Amari Cooper as your 3rd wide receiver. Like again, a Marvin Harrison, I'm a little. Like I said, it could hit. But I just think it's too early. And we just judging it as in right now. Tony Pollard, I think if he goes to the right team, but I'm gonna have to hit you with a negative with that one just because we don't know where he's going to be. If he goes to Kansas City, it's elite. Mostert is older, but if he got one more year in him, hey, that's a killer pick. That's a great pick. Deontay, I don't think Deontay is going to get hyper targeted with that type of offensive coordinator with Arthur Smith. Chase Brown is a guy, he's a PPR guy. I think that's a guy that you stash and sees what happened because they will draft another running back if they let Joe Mixon go. Steelers defense is really good. I'm going to get his team a solid C+, close to a B-. If you would have took Marvin Harrison there, I would have gave you a B. That would have been the highest grade. But right now, I'm going to give it a solid C+. Really good team. Really good team. Let's go on to SoCal. I start off with SoCal. I love the Josh Allen pick. He got the best quarterback. We got to judge him for what he is. Chris Olave, I'm not a big Chris Olave fan. So this is a, we all are biased because we got our favorite players. I'm not big into Chris Olave. I believe he's too small to be a number 1 guy, but I do believe that he can get a lot of targets and be a safe guy for you. I believe he's definitely a top 24 guy. I love the dig stick. I love the Keenan Allen here. The only thing I don't think Keenan Allen gets as many targets because I believe that Jim Harbaugh is taking over the offense. So I take off 100 throws from Justin Herbert, maybe a little bit more, maybe 150 throws. Ramondre Stevenson in the 5th. I like Ramondre Stevenson as the 5th as a 0 RB build. This guy's going to get goal line carries. I don't care who's the coach going to be. You're going to use Ramondre Stevenson. Kyle Pitts, I love Kyle Pitts right there. I like Kyle Pitts. He's not the best tight end per se for as what he did last year, but the upside is number 1 tight end in the game. Javonte Williams, I don't know if he's going to ever be explosive again. So I'm kind of going to say that's just another running back just to take. Jerry Jeudy, he's disappointed me. I actually like Rondell Robinson over Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy didn't show me any type of heart last year. I don't know if it was Russell Wilson or Jerry Jeudy. I love Patrick Freiermuth to back up Kyle Pitts. The case Kyle Pitts doesn't hit. I love Pat Freiermuth, but I don't know again with Arthur Smith. Who knows what he does? So I'm gonna get his team.
Don't hold back, TD.
No, I'm not. I'm not holding back. You know, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna give it a C+. I'm gonna give this team a C+. Go ahead, CHB.
Man. Nice analysis on that. Nice analysis. Oh man. So Cal, sorry, man, but I gotta be hard on you as well, because I know you're going to be hard on me. Okay, so Josh Allen, yeah, that was a no-brainer. I mean, you took the best player available for you at that time. I probably wouldn't have taken the first, but hey, like you said, he a person that can change games at any given time. So yeah, Olave, I didn't like that pick because same way TD says, he's undersized to be a number 1, and I'm not a Olave guy at all. Like I said, I would have took maybe someone else over him, anybody over him. But Diggs, nice stack. Keenan Allen, we don't know what's going on with John Harbaugh, but John Harbaugh know what he had. Not John Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. I get the brothers mixed up. But just to wrap it up, I definitely don't like the Javonte Williams and Jerry Jeudy options. Like Jerry Jeudy, they say it was Russell Wilson or Jerry Jeudy. No, Steve Smith took that man's heart, because after Steve Smith said what he said about Jerry Jeudy was crying on the sidelines and everything and dancing, and I don't know what was up with that. I'm like, okay, this man doesn't have it because he can't take criticism. So I can see right now his career is about to be downhill even more. Overall, I would just say C-.
Okay. So Kyle, go ahead. You talk about your team. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand the Judy and Javonte. I'm a little different on Javonte. I think, year two removed from that injury, the fact that he is a pass catching guy, I think we could see I really think we can see a nice bounce back from him in year two. That injury was bad, man. It was really bad. Like, no taking away from like Brees Hall. And I'm not saying Javonte will be like Brees, but I think we see a better version of him and very involved in that offense. I don't think we see Samaje Perine getting, 50 catches again. I think Javonte gets a chance to get that workload. What he does with that workload, who knows? I think Ramondre, if he was healthy last year, we would have seen some big weeks down the stretch that we saw, Zeke kind of take that spot. And I think that Ramondre is going to be he's going to be that guy. So, I mean, I like the value of just where they were picked and the fact that the running back position is just not that great to begin with.
Right.
And we always see surprises. So that's kind of just my thinking there. Paying more attention. I mean, like I said, I was, no excuses, but like driving, coming home, I probably would have taken like Pittman instead of Keenan if I redid it, just based on him being the number one and what Pittman's done the last 2 years, but still like Keenan. I think the Chargers offense maybe throw a little less, but they're also going to hopefully be a better offense. So hopefully some of that gets replaced with running more plays, more first downs, more drives, more touchdowns, to make up for what you said about like the 100, 150 throws. Diggs, I still believe in Diggs. I'm not crazy high on him, but with the Allen pick and where we were in the draft, I felt like Diggs was just falling. Like he's done too much for me to not pick him there, especially when Josh Allen is my quarterback. Olave, I agree with the statements, but I think the numbers, I mean, double-digit targets the last 3 weeks of the year, 8 for 104, 6 for 86, 8 for 112. I think he's shown he can be the guy. So are there other guys maybe that could have been better there too? Sure, no doubt. But I think Olave, those guys all together can produce. But yeah, Judy, who knows, man. Pitts, upside is there, like you said, but we still have to gauge with what he has given us, which is not a top tight end, but not a bad spot to take him. So, in the Freiermuth backup, exactly why I took him. I know it's Arthur Smith, but remember what we thought about Freiermuth going into last year. A top tight end before that injury. So at that spot that late, why not? Especially for Pitt's insurance. But I would just probably give my own team a C.
Right. I don't listen. I'm biased when it comes to Chris Olave. He's definitely talented. I just think he's out of position. I would love to see him be a second wide receiver somewhere. Like I think he could be, and I don't want to bring it back to T. Higgins, but I think he could be a better number 2 wide receiver than T. Higgins and other guys. So I love Chris Olave, but I just don't want him to be here's 14 targets, you win us the game. That makes me like I don't know if I want this, especially with Derek Carr. But if he had another quarterback like C.J. Stroud or somebody like that, then I might look at him differently. But yeah, I think that's a solid team. Like I said, we talking about it early before we actually seen certain players move around. A couple comments that I want to talk about.
And I'm going to continue to just die on the Jerry Judy hill because I've been on that. You know how we have our guys too, where we just don't let go of. I agree with the Judy takes, but he's so young still, man. He's so talented. Like he can get it right, but I definitely won't be surprised, CHB, if he's just his heart's been ripped out, like you said.
Or Steve Smith said, it's just another guy.
Hey, I get it, but I just you gotta we hold on to some of our stubbornness, and I just he's so young, man, and so talented. Like, come on, man, get it together.
Right. I mean, look. I was hoping Elijah Moore would be a thing, but I mean, look how that turned out. He's so young still, but we're not gonna go there.
Right.
But,
Yeah. That's almost a good comparison. Even though Judy was taken in the top 10, I think though.
That hurt, man. To put Judy next to Elijah Moore, man, you just ripped my heart out, CHB.
Craig says, I think Tank Dell will go back to where he was before the injury. We hope so. I think he will. I mean, he's very young. Let me see. Zach says Kamara not in his prime anymore, in my opinion. Kamara is an older RB. What do y'all think about Kamara?
I mean, the good thing about I'll go first. The good thing about Kamara is like when he was first coming into the offense, when Sean Payton was there, they didn't run him into the ground like people think he was, because the fact is he had Mark Ingram taking a lot of the heavy hits. He only had 1 year where they kind of ran him a lot, but he was still kind of stay fresh. And then that suspension, he was still fresh as well. So I don't think he's out of his prime yet. I still think he has maybe 1 or 2 good years left in him at least. You know, on a elite level, because he's mostly a pass catcher. He's not like a bruiser. So I say he's still worth a pick.
Right. I still
And
think he could be elite. I still think he could be top 12 because of what you said of him being a PPR pass catching back. What about you, SoCal?
As long as he doesn't fall out of that role. I mean, if he continues to get fed the volume in the passing game, like he's not old to where he doesn't have the skill set. My concern would be they start to replace him because his running usage isn't the greatest. They go a different direction as a team. Kind of like you mentioned, giving Olave 14 targets, like maybe they just stop giving Kamara all those targets, because as a team, they want to go a different way. But if they continue to feed him, like, yeah, we saw what he did last year when he got the volume. I'm going to take my chances there. Like I brought up the running back position being kind of weak as a whole. I'll take my chances on a pass catching running back in the middle of the draft, like really anytime. And one of these years it won't work out, but more than not, it's worth it to me.
I agree with that 100%. Zach Seaman says Marvin Harrison is in a round 2 as a rookie is too high. I agree with that as in right now. But if I don't know. If he goes to Kyler Murray, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what team actually get him. If he goes to an elite quarterback that we've seen finish as a top 5 that's very accurate, I would say that he has a chance to be top 12. To me, I like speed wide receivers because as a rookie, I think guys are going to get really physical with him, and he's going to have to get used to that. So to me, that's why I don't want to take him. I'd rather take a speed guy, but not like a crafty veteran route running guy. So I wouldn't have taken him in a round 2. Do y'all think he's worth a round 2, round 3 pick?
nah, no. Now, I mean, if somehow some miracle, some crazy thing happened, like the Jets trade up for him to put him next to Garrett Wilson, then yeah, he'll be worth a pick that high. But I mean, we know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, and
Like we call,
it's hard, man, it's hard for me to take a rookie over somebody that's already shown what they can do in a year or two that's still young and dynamic. Like I'm just big on seeing what someone's already done in the NFL. Not like a DeAndre Hopkins or an old veteran or anything, but a Tank Dell, a Nico Collins, like I like that proven theory for a redraft, 1 year team over banking on a hype rookie that, could be great, but I'll just take the guy that's giving me a year or two of legit numbers.
right, exactly,
Right,
because
me too.
he still might need some more time to develop. And yeah, he got the name Marvin Harrison Jr., but we can't. He's not guaranteed he's going to be like Marvin Harrison Sr. Because yeah,
Not first year. Not first year. You
maybe
know.
not first year or second year. We don't
Yeah.
really know. Like
Yeah.
I said, it's
Right.
all how he develops.
Right. True. Like he could come out and be hitting, but I don't think his speed is enough to separate from these professional grown men that's technical sound. I think he is a solid guy, but not a upper echelon top 12 guy. Appreciate what's up, bro? What's going on with you, Kevin? And Zach says Ramondre in the 5th was a great pick. I agree with that, SoCal. I love Ramondre. I think he just was nicked up and he can catch passes. I mean, he's 245, 250 pounds and got great feet like a scat back. So I love Ramondre Stevenson. I think he's a great 0 RB pickup for your number 1 running back. I think that was one of your best picks. What do you think, CHB? Did you like Ramondre in the 5th?
Oh yeah. I love Ramondre Stevenson. If I mean,
Okay. So I think he might have got disrupted a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to.
I'm here.
Go ahead. Okay, I can hear you
Can
now.
hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear you now.
I'll run through it real quick. I like Ramondre Stevenson. I'll take him at that value at any given time. I'm just concerned about the offense, how it's going to be ran now since Belichick is not there no more under Gerard Mayo. I don't know if it's going to be more the same or they're going to go a whole different direction. There's a lot of uncertainty there, but it's still great value because at least they know what they have with him. So go for it every time.
Right.
Every time, baby, in the 5th. Yeah, I agree with everything you said right there, CHB. But yeah, every time. If he's on the board on a 0 RB at that spot in the 5th, I don't know if you can get a better pick, my team or not, like than a guy like Ramondre, right? Like in that spot on that team.
Agreed. Okay, so let's go on to Solo. Solo, I'm gonna start. He went Bijan Robinson with the 1-7. I love that. Saquon Barkley. I love those 2 running backs right there. I think Saquon goes to a team where they're gonna give him. He's one of the few running backs in the league that's probably gonna get 80 to 90% of the carries all over the field. And he still, to me, got 2 years left. And he also can catch passes. So no matter what, Saquon's going to be okay. Even if you can stop the run, he's going to get outside of the pocket. I mean, not outside of the pocket, but he can go out for passes. So you can't really stop him. I love Saquon in the 2nd round. Travis Kelce, even though Travis Kelce struggled in the regular season, that's still a great pick. Devontae Adams, this is a good team right here. Joe Burrow in the 5th. Listen, Joe got hurt. Joe still is a monster. Joe still pushes the ball downfield to guys like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Now, here's where I'm going to be a little bit hard on you. I think that's a good pick. I'm not going to judge you for the pick, but I'm not a Addison guy. I'm not a Jordan Addison guy. So I'm gonna deduct you a little bit right there. Oduzzi, I haven't done enough research. I'm just gonna give you an even kill right there. But I love Josh Downs in the 8th round. I think Josh Downs is a PPR monster. I think he can be top 15, 16 in targets easily because of him playing the slot. Him and Anthony Richardson had a really good combination. Gus Edwards, just another guy. You just taking a chance. Now, Xavier Worthy, that might be your best pick. I like this guy. He's a speed demon. These guys get on the field before guys and play big better than guys like Marvin Harrison because Worthy won't have a number 1 corner or a number 2 corner on him. He'll have like a slot guy, and they'll run a lot of smoke and mirrors to get him open. So I love that. I love the Baltimore Ravens. That's the best defense. I'm going to give this team a B. I'm going to give this team a B. Go ahead, CHB.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't say any better. B. I mean, he had back-to-back home run picks with the RBs. The Kelce pick, I mean, you already know how I feel about the Kelce pick right now, but you know, that's a little personal thing right now. But I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And then of course, Devontae Adams, he's gonna get all the targets because there's really no one else there. So yeah. B. We'll go with that, B, yeah.
Go ahead, SoCal.
I'm pretty much there with you guys, but I think I'm going more B-. I think, the top half of this team, man, it's like, good God. I mean,
right.
Like I'm on you. You have to be on the Kelce train till there is no more Kelce train.
Right.
If not, you're just a hater, and that's fine. No, it's all good. But like, come on, man, the guy had a down year and was still a beast, right? So
right.
He's not a 1st round pick, but he's a 3rd round pick. Those 3 guys, Burrow, those are great picks. Devontae as your 1, he can be that, but even as the only guy there, we saw a lot of weeks last year where he still, disappeared and was wide receiver 28, wide receiver 35. Like, I don't know if I could see that not happening this year, but we don't know what's going on with the Raiders. We don't know who that quarterback's going to be. We don't know what else they're going to do. Addison, I think you're going to get some boom weeks. And then, we talked about Marvin Harrison. We got to give that same, kind of thought to Dunze and Worthy, although they could be massive upside picks to this team. And Downs, I think you're right. He is a target machine, but Richardson was only there 2 games. I love Richardson. I love what the Colts are going to, can be with him if he's out there. But Downs still has a little bit of question marks too. Like, we saw a few good weeks, but we saw the signs, right? We saw the year 2 breakout potential, but you're relying on him to be a number 2 week in and week out without a real possible, like, no hate on Devontae. I'm a big Devontae guy, but that wide receiver group is questionable to me
Right.
with the way we're talking about rookies and being nitpicky here. I just think I got to go a little more B- on it.
Right. And I respect that because his receivers are not that strong, but to get Devontae Adams in the 4th is always a good pick. That's why I didn't want to deduct him too much. But yeah, I agree with that.
B to B-. I mean, yeah, like I said, we're nitpicking, but if Downs and Addison take a leap and Devontae is what he was or a little better, and you get anything from Worthy and Adunze with that top half, that's the flip side of that, right? That's the
Right.
championship side to this team.
I agree. Great job, Solo. So far, that's my best graded team. I don't know who did y'all keep track of y'all best graded team so far? My best graded team so far is Solo.
I said Kirk's with Tyreek Hill team.
Okay, Critch, right. And what was your best team so far?
I don't know if I gave anybody more than a B-. I might have gave Nifty a B. Yeah, Nifty maybe I gave a B to. I'm not sure.
Okay, what about? I thought maybe you went to Mad Cheese. I think you gave Mad Cheese a good grade, didn't you? With Mike Evans, Nico Collins, and C.J. Stroud and Connor.
Yeah, I think I went B-. I think I have a few B range for a few teams.
Okay.
Like maybe 2, 4, and even here with Solo, I think I have kind of in the same range.
Okay. All right, so let's get on to Zach. Here you go, Zach. We're about to get on to you. Let's start with you, SoCal. What do you think about this squad?
We talked about Brees, man. I mean, yeah, Brees could easily be the RB1. I mean, we saw what he did down the stretch. And back to it, man. What you do in the passing game as a running back is vital to fantasy football right now. And he is the number one. He showed he was the number one in that department. And you got to think the running game is going to be better than it was. You got to think the Jets offense should be better than it was. And even without that, we saw him still produce greatly, the second half of the season. For what Kyren did, I'm a big Kyren guy. I was big on him last year. I drafted him late in a lot of drafts. I like Kyren. McVay the previous year had talked about Kyren being a guy involved. And then he, like McVay does, he went away from that and went Akers all year. So there was no love for Kyren in the offseason, but then he got the opportunity. So I watched Kyren live in a Browns-Rams game. Him and Puka, they passed the eye test in person, man. Those are two really good running backs right there. Pittman, we're talking about a guy who's had back-to-back, 99 catch seasons, target monster. You hope he gets in the end zone a little more, but I'm going to take my 100 catches, bro. Like, I'll take it. Lamar, fantasy, he's fourth round. There's nothing wrong with that pick, right? He could challenge Josh Allen week in and week out with the rushing upside. Still a tier below that, but 3 rounds later, I like it. Zay, I don't know how much of a step up he takes. JSN, if Lockett, I love JSN. They need to get Lockett out of there for JSN to really take that next step.
Thanks.
And he will. He had that injury. He showed the signs. JSN's the real deal to me. Jaden Reed, solid, but a lot of weapons there. Does Christian Watson come back and have a role? Is it Dobbs? Is it Wicks? They got a young arsenal there, but how much is going to be there for him? But he was consistent, right? 4 to 5 catches week in and week out. Ferguson, Dallas offense is good, man. Nothing wrong with that pick, especially with he's a red zone monster, the tight end position. If you're not getting one of the top few guys, give me a guy who I think led the league in red zone targets. Zamir White, if Jacobs isn't there, this might be the best pick in this entire draft in round 9. That's a big question mark, because if Jacobs is there, that pick kind of becomes null and void. But I'm just throwing that out there. If Jacobs is gone, this is probably the steal of the draft. Not much value in Charbonnet, unfortunately, with Walker being 23, still 2 years left on that deal. His usage. Lamar, running backs. But I still, there's solid, there's upside weeks, receiving core. I think I'm still going to give it, I'm going to go a solid C+, maybe even B- here.
Go ahead, CHB.
Yeah, overall, the potential of this team and everything between, Breece Hall, Kyren Williams, Pittman, Jackson, and you got the stack with Flowers. I go C+ there. Like I said, Charbonnet, not much value there. Even though the thing we know about Seattle Seahawks, one thing I learned is never sleep on that backups, because all it takes is that one play and then they just boom, man. You've seen the history, like the top guys there, then they go down, then who's the backup? Thomas Rawls, Rashad Penny, all of them. They went on to have almost game-winning seasons because the top guy went down. So it's all possible. But overall, I say C+.
Guys, I'm off a little bit. I'm gonna give this team a B+.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Breach Hall. He was the
Mhm.
number one running back the last 5 to 6 weeks of the season. I mean, that's why everybody's on him this year. I mean, he went crazy. He caught 12 balls in a game, and this is a 230-pound running back that's catching passes that can catch 12 passes like Alvin Kamara. So that's not 1-8. That's great. Then you got Kyle Williams, who was the number 2 running back overall for the season outside of CMC. Then you got Michael Pittman, and I might be a little bit high on Michael Pittman, but Michael Pittman, guys, with Gardner Minshew and with Anthony Richardson, he was having really big games. He was, if you look at him up to about week 10, week 11, he was a top 5 wide receiver overall. Lamar Jackson, you know how I feel about Lamar Jackson. He was a league winning player in the fantasy football playoffs. I mean, he had like 3 30-point games from the fantasy playoffs. Zay Flowers, that stat. Then you got Jackson Smith and Jigba. I love that because he's going to take a step up. You got to give him that. He was a first round pick, so you know he's going to get more targets than Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett probably going to get cut or take a pay cut. Jaden Reed, that's probably the only pick on this whole team that I'm going to question, but it's still a great pick because it's a lot of mouths to feed. But I still think it was a phenomenal pick to have Jaden Reed there. Ferguson is a top 12 tight end. I mean, he's on the elite offense. He's not elite himself, but he's on the elite offense, and he played really good. Zamir White, if Josh Jacobs leaves, like SoCal said, that's probably the best pick, one of the best picks of this whole draft. Charbonnet, that's a great backup pick. That's a great stash. If anything happened to Kenneth Walker, that could be a league winner. Chiefs defense, I'm gonna give this team a B+. This is probably one of the best grades. I think I gave a couple other B+ out. This is a great team. I'm giving this team a B+.
All right. You got a B+. I'll set this one off.
Going on to the next one. I'm gonna go with this one. With Mexi, Garrett Wilson. I think he took him a little bit early, but I do like Jonathan Taylor in the second round. I do like Devontae Smith. I do like Aaron Jones. That's a good pick. Drake London in the 5th is a good pick. Justin Fields is a good pick. You got a lot of good picks here. They're not perfect picks, but they're good picks. Kincaid, I like him in the 7th round. Brian Robinson, I don't know what's going to happen over there. I don't know if they draft another running back or what they're going to do, but Brian Robinson, okay. Jahan Dotson in the 9th, I like that. Romeo Dobbs is a great 10th round pick, even though it's a lot of mouths to feed. You got him in the 10th round. And I also like Young Ko. I think he's really good kicker for the Atlanta. The Garrett Wilson, I think you took him too early. Aaron Jones, I think you could have waited a little bit, maybe, and maybe got somebody else, but I think I still like him. I'm gonna give this a C+. I'm gonna give this team a C+. Go ahead, SoCal.
Yeah, I don't know if I see a B+, C+ difference in this team and the team before. I do agree maybe Wilson was high, but 95 catches for over 1,000 yards, just only had 3 touchdowns. That obviously hurt. I mean, you got to get more touchdown production from the one. And we've talked about we don't know what's going to happen with that team, but there is the upside there. Garrett Wilson, we know, is a monster. I think Jonathan Taylor, I mean, he showed that he can still be the RB1 when he came back. He had plenty of weeks, plenty of flashes. I love Aaron Jones. Once he came back and healthy, yeah, maybe you reach a little for him, but I think the way he ended the year, if you really want to get him, you may have to do that. He ended the year on a high note, and people remember that. Devontae, Drake, Dotson, Dobbs. I mean, as bad of a year as the Falcons have had offensively, London was still like a top, I think 19 or 20 from week 2 on, which is nice. I mean, you hope he improves on that, but we don't know. Justin Fields he can be a league winner in fantasy too. He's a dual threat, just like we talked about with Lamar and Josh Allen. Obviously not in the same tier right now, hasn't shown that, but he's shown us weeks. I think he's gotten better and better. I mean, I think if he stays in Chicago with DJ Moore and they build around him, I think that's key for his fantasy success. If he goes somewhere else, who knows, right? I mean, maybe he does have more weapons, but that's also a whole new learning curve, new team, new players. Kincaid's a beast. Yeah, I was high on Dotson, man. I think for where you got him, he's still young, has some promise, but he also could just be a black hole every week in your scoring. So I think I still give this. I think I'm going to go C+, B-.
Right. Go ahead, CHB.
I mean, yeah, I would have waited on Garrett Wilson as well too because there's so much uncertainty in that offense, and I mean, but it's not a bad pick either way because I mean he's the guy. I mean, Jonathan Taylor showed he has flashes. This might be a little controversial, but I'm not a fan of Devonta Smith at all. Like, I just don't see it at all. Like, I mean, the guy has been to me. I know everyone say he's going to be the guy in the offense, but I haven't seen enough of him to say. I'm sorry, just anybody that doesn't like what I'm saying, I'm sorry. That's how I feel. I'm sticking to it. Aaron Jones, I mean, he's the heart and soul of the Packers offense right now, and he's a leader, so he's a good pick. But yeah, you could wait a little longer for him. Drake London, I'm hoping it's a bounce back year since now he's not in that Arthur Smith black hole anymore because the dude should be putting up at least 1,300 yards a season and 5 touchdowns at least. But, it's just all about the offensive coordinator, how he take care of it. Justin Fields, I hope for the best for him. It's a shame that he has to go through this 2 years in a row now. But hopefully they do build around him. If not, hopefully he goes to a better team that has weapons that wants to win with him and not you put him as a bridge quarterback type of thing. Kincaid, he all right. But, Brian Robinson, that's my guy in the Washington offense. I know there was a controversy between him and Gibson, but now Gibson's gone, so he might be a sleeper pick because they're going to probably run him a lot. Dotson, black hole, and I mean overall this team, I say C+.
So what I would ask, so you don't think you don't think this team is better than the Mexi team, SoCal?
Think that the team we just discussed is better than the team before?
Yeah, or a letter grade. I would say a letter grade better.
I don't know if they're a letter grade better. I think there's a lot to like about. I mean, I don't know. I think London has just been kind of disappointing, but he's still. I mean, he's your wide receiver 3 on that team. To me, Aaron Jones, I'm probably maybe, like I said, maybe a little higher on him, but I think what we saw him do once he came back healthy, he's the guy that I thought he would be last year. Same with Taylor. I think Fields is still a fantasy, forget the real NFL. Fields is still a fantasy threat. We saw what Kincaid can do. I think Washington, Brian Robinson, there's no reason he's not as involved as any other third running back on your team. I think that team can be pretty good too. So I think they're a little close. I just think they're a little closer together.
That's fair. I have nothing to rebuttal what you said. I think you broke it down. The only thing that made me knock, because I think this team is complete. To get Jahan Dotson and Romeo Doubs as to finish up your draft, those are boom guys. Dotson can boom, but Dobbs can boom. We saw that. So I think it's a complete team. But I thought the Garrett Wilson is just, we don't know. If Aaron Rodgers plays elite and he's healthy, I think it's a great pick. If he doesn't, it's a little volatile. To me, that was the big decision. I just thought he reached for Garrett Wilson right there. But yeah, I have nothing to say, man. You're exactly right. It could be a little bit more than a letter grade difference. It could be closer than a letter grade. I agree with that. All right, so I guess we're gonna go on to CHB. You ready, CHB?
Come on with it. Give me all your criticism. Don't hold back.
Okay. you know we're not. Go ahead. You go first, SoCal.
All right. Let's see here. Let me see. All right. Patrick Mahomes with the first pick. I mean, yes, Patrick Mahomes didn't have as great of a year last year. Still is that guy. I don't know, though. I don't know if I would take him in that spot. I think that I may have waited a couple rounds to get a quarterback there, just with the versatility in fantasy, and kind of what he did do last year. I mean, he didn't manage games, right? He just did not have a lot of games. He did not have a lot of games where he was throwing 2+ touchdowns, and maybe Kansas City's turned into more of that team, depending on what they do in the offseason. They bring in Mike Evans, probably a whole different story. But if they're running the ball, playing defense, that can hurt his fantasy side a little bit. So it's not it's Patrick Mahomes, man. He's already on his way to a Hall of Fame career. But I just don't know if that would be my first round pick with where I could get a Lamar or a Justin Fields later. Waddle and Higgins, I'm right there with you, and Metcalf. I love that core of young wide receivers, right, around 25 years old. I think all three of them can easily break out on any given week. We have seen some disappointment from the three of them, but as a core, I got nothing wrong with that trio right there. If you can get them to each kind of just break out a little more, you're looking at three guys possibly in the, anywhere inside the top 30 wide receivers, right? You hope they're closer to the top 10. But I'm not a big Watson guy. Pickens, I just don't trust that offense. I just don't think they give him enough work. Maybe that changes this year, but they throw him the ball. He can take it to the house, but there's a little bit of him and Watson. There's a little bit of questioning for me there, but those are your two wide receivers outside of the other three. Kittle, at any given week can go for 3 touchdowns, but again, in that offense, he likes to block. Sometimes they don't quite use him the way they should, so I wouldn't really put him in that top tier of tight ends. Swift and Pierce. Swift needs to go to a team that's going to pass him the ball more, man. His passing numbers went down in Philadelphia, which I don't understand because he's still young. He's still dynamic. If he goes to a team that's going to utilize him in the passing game, I think that could be a sneaky pick considering that's your first running back. And it's round 8 right there. Michael Thomas, solid fill in. Not a lot of value there, but he's, he'll give you 6 for 60, right? And you hope he gets in the end zone a couple weeks. You could do a lot worse at one of those back end flex positions. God, Damian Pierce, man, I was on him all season. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with that guy. You could argue that you really don't have a second running back because of that spot. But, hey, rookie season was great for him. So who knows, right? Kyron came back out of nowhere. Maybe he goes somewhere else. If he stays with Houston, the problem is he doesn't fit that scheme, and they don't seem to want to use him in that offense. So he just might die in Houston. If he goes somewhere else, which I don't know if they'd be willing to move him with that rookie contract, then maybe there's some life. So I just think you kind of don't have a second running back there. But obviously you can play Watson and Pickens in those flexes, kind of lose that running back spot. Again, I got no reason not to give this team a C.
Okay, so I wouldn't have took Mahomes with the 10th pick, but I like it. It depends on what you do with it. So when you came around and took Waddle and Higgins is not. I'm not going to deduct you from Higgins because I know with Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow's going to have a breakout season. Or not a breakout because he's Joe Burrow, but he's going to have a bounce back season. But I would have squeezed more of that offense if I get Mahomes. That's what I would have done. Does that make a difference? No. But I'm just saying, why you could have got Mahomes as the third round if you wasn't going to try to stack him with somebody. That's just my 2 cents on that. But Waddle, Higgins, and Metcalf, those guys are good. They are good, solid, number 2 guys that can boom in and out of the top 10, maybe a 5. But none of these guys are true alpha every week, gonna give you consistent 3 or 4 weeks in a row 20 points. Waddle could give you 20 points game, then he could give you 14 and 9. Higgins, same thing. DK, same thing. Now, if they all hit together and they all started getting consistent targets, they could be good. So I say that receiver core is solid, but it's no true alpha there. That's what I would say. I think they solid as number 2 wide receivers on the fantasy team. I love that you got Watson, but I think it's still a little early to get Watson. I think you could have took him where you got Swift, maybe. I don't think nobody's really going to pick Watson. Pickens in the 6 is straight. I think Pickens is the number 1 guy. So anytime you're a number 1 guy, you still going to get targets. Kittle, to me, I think Kittle is going to be a volatile boom guy. It's so many weapons there. I just don't think they need him to be consistent. They just need him to be Kittle. And at this point in time, he's just a Hall of Fame tight end who just going to do whatever the coaches ask him. I don't think he's going to be hyper targeted. Swift right there, he's just kind of volatile. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know when they're going to give him targets, if he's going to stay healthy this year. Michael Thomas is great in the 9th round because he's just going to give you, like he said, 6 for 60. He ain't going to give you no duds, but he ain't going to boom either. Damian Pierce, I thought that, I just thought that was a bad pick. They're not going to let him go as a rookie, and they're not going to give him that many carries. Is he going to break off a kick out? If he going to break a kick return? Like, I don't really know because they're gonna draft another running back. I don't know if they and then Devin Singletary played good, so they're gonna want to use Devin Singletary. But if something happens and Devin Singletary goes down, Damian Pierce could be a boom guy because we know what he can do. He a decent catcher of the ball and he runs hard. I'm gonna give it a C because of the strong wide receiver set. I think you have a strong wide receiver set. I think if you work the waiver wire, I think you can take your team and can be a lot better. But I'm just gonna give it a C. Go ahead, bro. You can, talk about your team or rebuttal anything that we said. Hopefully, you don't take it. You don't want to fight us or anything.
Oh no. Like I said, I'm gonna use one of your quotes. My team suck. That's how I feel. All right. So look, I can dish it out and I can take it as well. So just so the viewers know that I think my team's a D. A D. That's being nice.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if my team finished 0 and whatever because like there's a lot of holes there. But I just took what I thought was the best players available to me at the time and. Just trying something different. I mean, like I said, I need people not high on Watson, but I still feel like he's the true alpha of that Packers offense. And once they figure out that injury situation with him, I feel like he's gonna really take over, and people gonna really see that he is really that guy. I mean, Pickens, I feel like he could have a bounce back year. That's why I took him. Like, hey, I didn't really go heavy on RBs, but I said, hey, look, I got them flexes to make up for it. I mean, DeAndre Swift, I took him because of the PPR potential. He can pass and catch. Maybe the Eagles will stop over relying on the tush push all game. Let Jalen Hurts actually throw the ball or give it to the running backs, and then we can get back there. I mean, Mahomes, I just took him because I just said, hey, you know what? Let me try something different, see how I do if I take a quarterback. And this is why I don't take quarterbacks in the first round because I never had success with that, and this shows right there. So yeah, I give my team a D, and that's just being nice. Maybe an F, I don't know.
Right.
Yes,
I ain't
you
gonna say
heard
it's
here
the
first.
weakest team so far, but I give it's Steve because you got Waddle and Higgins. I mean, they could and DK. I mean, those are nice wide receivers, man. You're gonna be better in the flex at wide receivers than most teams. I mean, you got a good solid core. Watson is still the number one. I love Watson. I disagree with SoCal about Watson. Watson is the number one guy there, but he can't stay healthy. That's his problem. And he's a different type of number one. He's a deep threat number one. He's not a target hog number one. Okay, so let's go on. Go ahead, SoCal.
All I would say to that is I just don't think that that's sustainable as a number one. Like he's not going to score a touchdown every week. I don't know, man. Again, if Watson was healthy, maybe we'd see a little more, but I just haven't seen enough to rely on him. But again, that's your fourth wide receiver. So if he turns into more of what you guys are saying he is, the value that you've talked about a bunch tonight, TD, that's where it comes into play, right? Because you didn't draft him to be your number one. You drafted him as your fourth wide receiver. So
correct. All right, let's get on. We got two more. We got Joe Knows. I think this is Joe Knows. I'll start off with Joe since I'm gonna go last on the next one. So Puka Nacua, AJ Brown. I love that. I love the Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua is my special player of the year. Last year it was Amon-Ra St. Brown. This year is going to be Puka Nacua. That's my special guy, my special wide receiver if I want to break it down. I love Puka Nacua. I got a crush on him. Pause. My second wide receiver is my second wide receiver is AJ Brown. I don't like AJ Brown, but I'm not going to be disingenuous. That's still a great pick for what he is. So I like that. I like Travis Etienne. I like Cook. Those are really good picks. Christian Kirk. I like Christian Kirk. I don't know if you had to take him there. I like other players. I like Zay Flowers, some of these other guys. Let me see. Actually, he was going off the board, but I would have took somebody else. Mixon, I think that's a little early. But he's solid. I just think that's a little early. Ingram, hey, he was a top 5 tight end, so there's nothing I can say about that. I'm gonna give you a point for that. That's nice to take Ingram in the 7th. Nick Chubb, you got him right there where he needs to be. If he doesn't come back, you good. If he comes back average, you okay. No matter what happens, you're gonna be okay taking him in the 8th. So I'm gonna give you a kudos for that. I love the Rashid Shaheed at number 9. I like Rashid Shaheed better than Christian Kirk, but you don't pose to draft him before Christian Kirk, but I like him better. Brandon Cooks, I don't know. Brandon Cooks did okay. I think somebody comes in and takes his spot. I think he might stay there one more year in Dallas, but Brandon Cooks I think his career is trending down. Brock Purdy in 11th. Listen, I'm not big on Brock Purdy, but in 11th as a late get quarterback guy, hey, I think you killed it. And you got the Dallas Cowboys. I'm gonna give this team a B minus. I'm gonna give it a B minus. C plus B minus. Or I think it's a solid team. I'm gonna give it a C plus B minus. Go ahead, CHB. What you think?
I mean, love the Puka. Yeah, I love the Puka. God dang, I'm tired. I love the Puka Nacua pick. I mean, that's my guy. I mean, he is going to be a game changer even more. He's going to have a bigger year. AJ Brown. I mean, I like AJ Brown. I mean, it's not a bad pick, but not a great pick either. ETN. I mean, I don't know if he can repeat what he did last year, but he could do good. James Cook. Now y'all know how I feel about James Cook. I feel like he should get the ball way more than he does, but I get tired of seeing him taking away the goal line carries because of Josh Allen. That's the only thing that holds James Cook back from being a top 5 running back.
Right.
Christian Kirk, I don't like Christian Kirk. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't like Christian Kirk under no circumstances. I don't know why people hype him up so much, but I just don't like him. Joe Mixon, I mean, depending on where he goes, if he gets released and he goes to a team that might be a playoff contender, could work out. Evan Ingram, I mean, you got a nice stack there between him and you got a host. Well, you got ETN, Kirk, and Ingram. Okay, Jacksonville heavy, but not bad for a tight end. Nick Chubb, I don't know about that pick because that injury is gruesome, and you probably could have left him on the waiver wire or something for real, because you don't know how he gonna recover from that injury. Shaheed, boom guy. Cooks, old. Purdy, I mean, you probably could have did better than that, but hey, it's all good. Cowboys defense, I don't know because Dan Quinn gone and Mike Zimmer, a little outdated, but hey, we'll see what happens. Overall, I'm gonna say a C minus, just being nice.
What you think, SoCal?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised, TD. I think that you gave this team better grades than some of these teams you've given like C's and C minuses to. I mean, how can you not like Puka, right? I mean, the guy was just an animal. And like I said earlier, like watching him and Kyron play, like those dudes are just, they're insane, man. And McVay's not going to stop using them. So that the ball is going to get in his hand. So I love that pick. I don't want my AJ Brown bias, like you said, to come in too much. Like he does produce. I'm just not a big AJ Brown guy, but he is still a stud and he's your number 2. So that's a pretty damn good 1 and 2 right there. ETN, I'm not as high on ETN as most people are, other than, again, I'll go back to saying the running back position is kind of weak and he catches a lot of passes, but I don't see him having a stretch where he has 6 touchdowns in 3 weeks again. His yards per carry were down. He wasn't that efficient running the ball early, so I just don't think he replicates what he did this year. But because of the passing work in the position, I think he's still a solid pick. I agree with the Cook thing there where he is a stud. I tweeted something out like 2/3 the way through the season. I was like, James Cook is the engine to the Buffalo Bills offensive success.
Mm-hmm.
And he went on a tear after that. I was like, all right, somebody in Buffalo reading my Twitter. But still doesn't get the red zone work. Like he just doesn't get over that hump of being the top guy. But with Mixon, if he goes somewhere where he still gets to produce, those 3 guys together playing, I like that core of guys, kind of like the Waddle, Metcalf, Higgins receiving core that we talked about. I like that group there. I like the way they come together with Brown, with Nacua. Ingram, I mean, no Ridley, right? He was a PPR machine. Same kind of with Kirk. Like, no Ridley on those 2 guys are probably going to eat up the targets. I do like Kirk. I mean, over 1,000 yards the year before last year, 900 something the year before that. Lawrence seems to love him, but that's a lot of Jags to go around. So week in and week out, you're banking on that offense, which I don't know, man. Is Trevor Lawrence more what we saw 2 years ago, or is he more what we saw last year? That's going to be a big deal for that team. And then you just kind of fall off, not in the player Chubb is overall, but who knows what he's going to be. Shaheed, Cooks, there's not a lot of value in those players week in and week out at this point. Cooks is kind of like Michael Thomas, right? Even a little less, probably 3 for 40, maybe get you a touchdown, have a good week or 2. Right. Shaheed's got potential. He's a lot younger, but we haven't seen it. So the depth kind of goes away. A lot of Jags. yeah, I think I'm more of a C- on this team.
And the reason why I gave it that I went a little better because that Puka Nacua and AJ Brown and ETN, they were number one guys. Like that's at one point of the season, that was number one at the position, number two at the position, number one at the position. And then Evan Ingram, then Evan Ingram was also number two, number three at his position. So I had to give it some respect according to what last year was. I'm not big on ETN either, but those guys last year, they all had times where they was the number one player at their position.
Yeah, I get that. And I would, based off of that, I agree too. I think my thinking on that was, and it's hard to go this way because you don't want to just think, okay, they can't do it again. But, how many guys replicate that year after year, back-to-back years? So that just makes me a little leery of like, they got to go down a little bit, but they don't have to.
Right.
I totally get what you're saying.
Right. And that's why, same reason what you just said is why I'm not taking AJ Brown or ETN or Mixon, is because of what they did. I actually think Shaheed is a guy that can trajectories up. I like the Shaheed pick, but you're right. I mean, if you just want to look at it for what it is, it's I think for a late pick and what else was on the board, I think it's a good pick. But I get it. All right, so I'll go for guys. I don't care if it's my show or not. You come hard at me. Yeah. You judge my team hard. No hard feelings here. This is fantasy good sports. It's cutting edge content. We keep it real in here. So I'll let CHB, you go first.
Oh boy.
He's had some time to think about it too. So
yeah. Overall, my team is trash compared to this. So let's get that out the way. I have no room to talk. My team is still trash compared to this. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I should have took him, but I mean, I wouldn't be too predictable. But that was a pick I wanted. But hey, I let him fall to you. That's on me. But great pick there. Jameer Gibbs, great pick there as well. So he's squeezing the Lions offense. Rashad White, can't complain about that. Trey McBride, definitely gonna be a monster this year. Tajay Spears, backfield to himself. You can't ask for any better value. And you got Montgomery, so you got both of the Detroit running backs, so you can squeeze that whole offense. That's like a triple stack right there. You got AR-15. I'm saying, Anthony Richardson. Long as he learns to slide and not take so many hits, then he could be a league winner for you. Chris Godwin, they put him back in the slot, so he might be a PPR monster. Treylon Burks, no. Kyler Murray, I'm not really a fan of him, but hey, whatever floats your boat, bro. He's the best available at the time. You probably could have found somebody else. The Texas defense, they are definitely a sleeper team for defense-wise. Quentin Johnston, we'll see what happens with that Harbaugh offense, but overall, I mean, just your first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks. I mean, heck, that puts you close to an A right there.
Go ahead,
I agree with a lot of what CHB said there. I want to try my hardest to not say that you have the best team, TD. So let me see. Nah, man, your team is loaded, bro. Like, Treylon Burks ain't it though. That's for sure. We can. I give up on Treylon Burks, even if he is the guy. That I don't know what's going on in Tennessee, but the difference with him and Tajay is the running back, and you just got to give him the ball. What Tajay did in the passing game, man, I mean, I feel like I just, continue to beat it, but like beat the dead horse. Like catching balls in fantasy football as a running back is what gives you value. Maybe they're going to bring somebody else in, even if it's like a Deontay Foreman, right? Antonio Gibson, like just to kind of run the ball. Like it's just the league that we play in now. There aren't bell cows. I don't think he's big enough. But even what he did last year to be your third running back with 50-something catches, like I'll take that. And I expect a level up from that, right? No matter what they do with that team. Gibbs and Montgomery, right? We're startable running backs every single week. Amon-Ra's a monster. Trey McBride, easily a top guy at that position. Can make a case he could be the tight end one, right? But we saw what he could do. What else we got here? Rashad White. I have the same mentality a little bit with White as I do ETN, but again, I'm not going to avoid taking him because of it with the lack of depth at the position, and he catches balls.
Right.
Tampa, I think, overachieved, but I think they realized throwing him the ball is the key to success, and I think they keep doing that. So he's going to be better than not most weeks. He'll give you some duds when the running matchup isn't there and he doesn't get the 4 or 5 plus catches, doesn't find the end zone, but more weeks than not, right? Like, I'll take him over most running backs. Richardson, if he stays healthy, again, he's that dual threat guy. And if he doesn't, I like the Kyler pick. I was big on telling people last year, like especially Dynasty, don't trade Kyler for nothing. Hold on to him. I think he comes and has a big year in the second year of that offense, especially if they add to the weapons. I expect good things from him. So the fact that you got him as an insurance, and I like it because of who your quarterback is. We saw this guy get hurt multiple times and miss the entire season. Hopefully that doesn't happen for the young kid because we all want to see what he can really do. But if he does, I think, having a backup that can be a top 10 quarterback in your third to last pick, I can't fault you there, man. I like the way you built that, and it fits your team. And QJ, as a Charger fan, I mean, it couldn't be a worse pick that they took, but it's year 2. Obviously, he still has time. And with the last pick in the draft, I mean, he could be a steal if he figures it out at all. But for what it is, like we talked about, he's a disappointing rookie year, but still going to get a chance to be the number 2 there. Heck, man, I mean, probably not number 1. If they're not going to keep Keenan, you got to think they draft somebody. But, yeah, I think this might be the closest team to an A in my book.
So and I'm just being honest, I would say it's close to, because I like Zach's team.
A-.
Yeah, I think it's close to Zach's team. I think it might be a little bit better than Zach's team. I think this might be a little bit better than Zach's team. But this is what I would say about a couple of the picks. So the Treylon Burks, that's my boom guy. And look where I got him. If he hits, that's going to make my team extremely dangerous. If he's just a top 24 guy and they giving him screens and that type of situation, because they got to try to get him the ball as a rookie. I mean, as a top 20 pick guy, I think that he's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be like it was a couple years ago where they just kind of throwing the ball deep. I think they're going to get this guy in the rounds, kind of like they do with Debo. That's what I think for Treylon Burks. QJ, I actually think that was a bad pick. I kind of didn't know where to go. I don't like QJ at all. He can't catch the ball, and he's only going to have a couple of big plays a week. I mean, a couple of big plays a week if he do anything. So that was my worst pick. But the Kyler Murray, I do think was my best pick. So Anthony Richardson, if he does anything, if he gets hurt or he's not playing good, Kyler Murray can come in, and Kyler Murray might end up being my starter anyway, because Kyler Murray to me is going to be good, especially with Trey McBride, which I got that pack. I mean, I got that stack with Trey McBride and Kyler Murray. But I think Kyler Murray could be a top 12, maybe even a top 5 guy. I mean, when he was healthy a couple years ago, that's what he was. So, yeah, I think my team is really good. I like the way I squeeze. I think the 112 is one of the best spots to pick from because you get to pick back to back.
Word. I mean, I wanted to like try to find a hole in this team, but I'm like, I can't. I mean, just except for them two things I questioned. But I mean, yeah, like you said, this team overall is going around, except for the Quentin Johnson pick. We all agree that he's not it. He might be good for 1 or 2 plays a year, but. I mean, you got a great team. I mean, I can't fault it. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I had to face your team, the 16 out of 16 weeks, I'd probably lose 14 out of them, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But as long as DK, if DK go for 40 or 50 and Water go for 30, I might be in trouble.
Yeah, but then,
right.
Just a couple weeks, though. The thing is, this team, I mean, your team, TD, is consistent and star powered. Like, it just call it for what it is. Like, that's the thing is, like, CHB is going to have those weeks. That's how he's going to win, maybe more than twice, but that's how he's going to win. But even on the weeks that those guys go off, if your guys go off, he could lose a high scoring game, or any of us could lose a high scoring game. That's the kicker. But I I'll take the Treylon Burks spin. I believed it last year, but I mean, I'm not down with that. if they try to give him the ball like that, I just don't see it, man. I don't see year 3. I just don't know what they're doing with him, but
right. I agree with that. They got to do something. That's why I think they're bringing a new offensive coordinator in. I think anytime a guy that he has a lot better hands than QJ. But if they can get this, yeah, he got better. But if they could, this guy's 230 pounds and runs a 4.5. You got to be able to do something with that. Something. Maybe not nothing elite, but he got to have at least about 8 to 10 fantasy points a week. He got to be able to do something.
That whole team, man. I mean, even I thought Burks would bounce back last year. I liked Okonkwo as a late tight end, but it's that team and what they did as an offense, like that just makes it hard to really know what either of those two guys could do after the year 2 was like not a step forward for either one of those guys.
Right.
No,
so,
not at all.
So Cal, go ahead, man, and anything that you want to plug, Twitter, any of that, man, go ahead and plug it, bro.
Yeah, man. So at SoCal Ball Nerd is my handle. Follow me on Twitter. You see the sports affiliation there. That is myself, JC Money, and at IDP Iggy, our sports community with fantasy and betting. Just putting out daily betting content, a lot of NBA right now. I'll get a lot more into NFL once the draft comes around. I don't do a ton of rookie or combine stuff. Just do the other sports, right? Baseball coming up. So pretty much, man, just follow me on Twitter, subscribe to the Sports Affiliation YouTube, check out the Sports Affiliation website. You'll see my articles, all my content there. And, yeah, hit me up anytime, man. I'm always around for any kind of mock draft conversation. I'm in.
Yep. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. And
yeah,
go
thanks
ahead,
for having me.
Yep, anytime. And CHB, guys, y'all know CHB. He always here support me. Been here for me, about 2 years now?
Yeah, 2 years and counting. Yep, 2 years, still going strong.
Yep. So if you want to plug anything you want to, bro, anything you want to talk about.
Well, right now, I'm not on any social medias. Right now, I'm still a bit of a nomad, but coming soon, you never know. Might pop up on your Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever y'all got. Heck, might even bring back MySpace if I have to make it hot. But right now, I'm just yes, bring it back. He always support the channel. Like I said, it's the best fantasy channel. I stand by it. I ain't going nowhere. You know, multiple championships because of this man, and you know, I'm always going to ride till the wheels fall off. So. Like I said, just keep supporting the channel. Let's grow. Let's get this man on ESPN or Fox Sports 1. Let's get him on there. Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. I'll see y'all later. I see a couple comments. Charlene, what I'm gonna go tell you is I post the link. You got the community tab, or when you come into the live, click the link, and you're gonna have to download Sleeper. So download Sleeper. And when you download Sleeper, the link should take you where you download Sleeper and you get into the draft. And if you need help, I'll walk you by. I'll hold your hand and we can do that. But yeah, you should join them. It's gonna be fun. Let me see. And Cret said the teams I like are 2, 3, 4, 8, and 11. Okay, 2, 3, 8, 4. Yeah, it's a lot. It's some good teams.
No team 12 on there with 5 teams. I'm a little surprised. It's funny though, man, because everybody, and that's you already know, TD. You do this all the time as well. We do this, it's everybody's got their guys. Everybody's got the way they want their team to build out. We all got our reasons why we think Christian Watson's still the guy. Or Jerry Jeudy can bounce back, especially if you get him low or whatever. It don't matter who it is. And that's what makes it fun because let's go look back at the rankings every year and then give me the finishes every year from all the experts. That stuff don't match up. And if it did, we wouldn't play this game, bro.
Right. 100%. All right, guys. Y'all be safe. I appreciate you, SoCal Nerd. Peace.
They like country need a Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke, I'm in my bag. Bitch, I'm rolling up. They say that shit hot. Hot, bitch, I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some business. Ain't no money, I ain't showing up. Don't know how to act. A bunch of country niggas pulling up. Okay, turn me up. Now they say they want that country shit. Okay, now turn me up. Now they see I be that energy. I make them turn me up. Yeah, I know they tryna finish me, but it just turn me up. Turn me up, Jay. Fresh to death on camouflage. Gotta keep a foot up on their necks cause they might sabotage. I ain't come for peace, I brought the mask, brought the terrorize. Step. If you ain't hating, nigga, keep that bullshit to yourself.